interesting. We get into the spicy matchup immediately.
Yeah. I just want to mention the clear skies here is a nice little touch, boosting all units on an allied row. It might be able to give a bit of help getting Reavers out of range of the Svalblod.
But yeah, let's go. This is first semi-final best of 5 series. We have 2 of those and then the final all today, all brought to you by Matol. Look at this beautiful combo. Nobody expected Troubadour at the start of the year, I guess, in the tournament, but here we are. Although maybe Myamon was experimenting with them in the CDPR cycle already last year, but
in case you didn't know what Self-Wound was running, you can click the vial to see what is in Archie's list, but it's kind of pointless because this is open deck lists anyways. So Car is a nice unit here against the Reavers. Its armor will be able to counteract a bit of the damage as long as it stays as the highest unit, which is likely to remain the case. So you see it's already counteracting the damage coming out from the Reavers. And no, this time it's not a vial. This is going to be a maxi. Very quick choice in the maxi.
Yeah.
Did you look at that?
Nah, I think I seen Knut at the top, but not many golds. I might be mistaken, but yeah, that was also very fast, so didn't really register with me either.
Yeah, a lot of the golds are already in hand here for Archie, which means if they want to contest the round 1, they'll likely need to start committing some higher value cards quite early. And card 3 in round 1, we're already going to see a clear skies coming out, and it's playing a solid 6 points. 6 units in the front row, just doing the job pretty nicely.
Yeah. Okay, so ship is getting bigger, being the target, but Maxi already got damaged 3 times, so it's awkward for Archie. Yeah, you mentioned that he has the golds, so Myamon just played some reversed into one of the secret services out of the deck. Like, he doesn't really need the purifies in this match. Self-purifies, I mean. Clear Skies is also a throwaway card.
And importantly, the pellet is the only bronze in Archie's hand, but it has quite an important role in this matchup in being able to get rid of one of the 2 locks that Myamon's deck is running. And so we'll see how the players want to progress here. Gonna be Arcane Tome. Are we going for the Neomancy? What is the poison that will be picked?
Okay, so this is a nice way to get an arrow for Archie, but he doesn't take it and slams the pass button. So he has his game plan. He was in Twitch chats yesterday mentioning that they were prepping and testing. I don't know exact results, but yeah, might be a prepared strategy. Of course, against Reavers, when you have okay, they have armor, a little bit of it, but theoretically with Svalblod exploding 2-3 times, you start damaging them even if they are protected by garrison as well. At the same time, yeah, look at those. Lock, another lock, a sword is here, so how much can you do of a board setup can you do to actually profit from the Svalblod?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a push coming through here. Reavers do enjoy having the first say, getting to go first, set up your Reavers, set up your engines before the opponent has a chance to react. Can be quite nice, and we do see Reavers coming out already. Avalok bringing out the Mushy Truffle. When you can travel anywhere through portals, not sure why you would go to the Mushy Truffle. Would have thought you'd choose a bit of a fancier tavern, but maybe nice.
Yes, here he wants to be among the common folks. Occasionally elves just get so tiring. And yeah, we see the control setup. We also don't see the Reaver Hunter click here.
Yeah, so probably saving the Reaver Hunter click for the Idaran, I would imagine. And yeah, offensive verification. Getting rid of the Chaos Troll is quite important in this matchup because that is one of the key ways for Self-Wound to deal damage. And if the KO troll isn't there, well, Myamon's threats are going to be that much safer, and also means the Svalblod and the Olgierd have less things to combo with to get value.
Okay, so answering that with the totem. Archi has a nickname of a bear in the community, so putting a bear onto his side of the board, and now the totem potentially creating the bear abominations as well. It's all symbolic. Okay, we see Idaran, now the click comes. There was of course a line of just killing it, considering Archi did get the Raiders on board, floating 2 damage. It could have been combined with the Knut, but that kinda ruins your overall game plan and Knut usage, so yeah. We see that Myamon is capable of establishing 3 of Reaver Hunters on the board now, which usually, yeah, just becomes 7 of them, considering there is Idaran and Redanian Secret Service on the board at the moment. Of course, some spots are taken, but here we are. First big explosion, second big explosion, another one, and...
Is it?
Yeah, I guess he wants to eliminate and board wipe everything. Okay, aggressive, prepared.
So, yeah, huge commitment there, but hey, it means you have likely card advantage now. It means you'll have first say in a future round. And if you're able to get an Olgierd or a Svalblod onto the board and have them actually stick, it means that the Reavers aren't going to be getting a whole lot of value, because they'll just be hitting a unit which likes to get damaged. And this is going to be Skrull coming out, going to get rid of the Neuromancy here, I imagine. So, Myamon, in a sense, playing for carryover here by removing Archie's carryover, but as a tutor, the only thing missing for Archie right now is the Sigreafer's right in deck. So, not going to be the most impactful Skrull in the end.
Yeah. So since Archie went all in, he is without the leader now. At the same time, Myamon still possesses his mobilization. But yeah, need to be mindful of, say, that Olgierd Immortal. He deals with the Sigreafer's right onto the Svalblod. Now the bear god is its soul is inside of Hand-Guided Sword, coming out in round 3. Can't see really much of a benefit it can have against Self-Wound deck, especially the one that already played Totem and flipped most of the culti, like Bear Abominations. Leader is out, so there won't be much Swarm.
No, but hey, at the very least, you remove it from the opponent's graveyard with the banish on the Handgate Sword, and hey, if you can set up enough Reavers to do 8 damage per turn, the Svalblod will spawn an extra 4-point bear each turn as a result. And a bit unfortunately here, since the second Redanian Secret Service was already thinned out, I don't believe this Troubadour will have a way to get rid of the lock on a Reaver Hunter.
Yeah. Okay, so another Drakkar Reaver Hunters interaction, and there he is, Olgierd Immortal. You just lock it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Heatwave.
The thing with the lock is it would mean the Reavers would be able to actually hit it, damage it, so it might not be the tallest unit anymore. Though in saying that, the Hakamael will do a pretty good job at removing the lock from the Olgierd and boosting it before removing the lock so the boost actually goes through.
Yeah, true. So the alternative is of course to just heatwave it, but you never know. Might want to do that on juiced up Svalblod rather. So lock number 1, and the beautiful thing here for Myamon is that he doesn't care if Olgierd is unlocked on Archie's turn, it's just that it needs to be locked during Myamon's turn, so another lock can be invested. and the damage will go through, but yeah, decides to heatwave here, maybe expecting that Eller might be waiting for his turn.
Life's one never-ending fight.
But now Sigvald is free to go with the Peller present. It's just what he can actually achieve. Only Martram is there.
Yeah.
Mankind is a
We do see a lot coming out immediately.
It also puts
The
him at
Sigvald
5
here
power.
doesn't have, yeah, that much to combo with.
living souls in your
Can get a bit done with the Martyrum. I guess hit the Drakar on maybe the. Actually, this Drakar's never gonna have armor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure how you really turn that bleeding into actual points on this Sigvald.
This Svalblod coming out will be, yeah, not really helpful here.
Yeah.
Decides not to deal with the Sigvald, by the way. This never deals with it, right? So, okay. He couldn't. For some reason I was like, oh, 5 damage, nice. Like, expecting the sword actually work, but yeah, that's me speaking nonsense. Never mind. So, Sigvald is actually free. Well, this is beautiful for Sigvald. Getting the damage in.
If there's enough bleeding, it can get a decent kill on the Pella, turning that into points. So you might want to kill this Pella with the sword as a result, to really force this Sigvald into hitting this Troll or Drakar. And not even gonna use this Redanian Knight ping either. Redanian Knight? Kedweni Revenant, gosh. Verification is 10 points, cute little Sigvald, but still going to come up short. And the Reavers are able to slay the Self-Wound deck, and they're going to force Archie to take Self-Wound for another spin later in the series.
Okay, we had Myamon on blue coin, right? And Nilfgaard, as you mentioned, was banned on both sides. So let's set up this beautiful ban screen between the games. And also mark that, yeah, the first game of the grand finals goes Myamon's way. Okay.
So might be able to directly outpoint the Death Wish pound for pound.
Of deduction seem to have waned not one bit.
Yeah, okay, interesting. So for control and toll punish, what do we have? We have rebukes, but rebukes against Death Wish don't achieve too much. We have Moran. Her lock, it can be countered with the Peller. And then you mostly just play your own stuff. So yeah, Archie wins the control war here with 9 power. Lure Triptide, still a powerful tool. Has double Cyclops, has Iron Dart, Heatwave, so...
So I think round control will be important here, I would say, for Myamon. Because when you lack the direct control tools, what you can instead try to do is go for a bit of a tempo bleed in round 2. If you're able to force out the Succubus, force out the Detlef before the AQ comes out even, or just not give them time to get consumed, you're able to disrupt the Death Wish's plans to a decent degree. But it's going to be both players committing some golds to begin with. The Bruce Ritual coming out for Archie. Notably, not committing the Dagon yet. Does have access to it with the Decree, but since you're up against a list that doesn't have Heatwave and the lock can be countered by Pella, you might be wanting to save the Dagon for second form instead.
Yeah, that would be spicy if we'll see that going through. Of course, Myamon could have something like Seamless into double rebuke, but we do see double rebuke in hand. And Seamless lacking from not present in the hand at the moment, although there is a Telealin. But yeah, Dagon is definitely being kept here by Archi on purpose, as you mentioned. Royal Decree is there. Also has access to AQ, so it's not like he's missing everything and needs to keep the decree.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's quite unfortunate here for Myamon, this Lord Riptide cleaning up the Frixinate, but the Frixinate was always sort of going to be the tallest unit. So just had to hope the Riptide wasn't found, and unluckily for Myamon, Archie was skilled when it came to the draw. But Myamon does need to respect the tempo here, and that's why we see the Zungrim's Council coming out for the Philovandrel. Contesting this round means you need to commit big to catch up to that Bros Ritual tempo. And the thing with the Death Wish here is their points are going to sort of taper out, since you see they have one more active Death Wish that can turn into points, but then it's going to turn into a lot of a slower case where they're going to have this Succubus, which they don't really want to play now. Takes both Slain and Hobbies being played to get the bonded value, so it's going to be quite possible for Myamon to contest. And with the frogs on board, you can actually go for the Vitality option from Shaping Nature, and moving these frogs front row to deny a little bit of fog value, make it do 1 damage instead of 2.
Yeah. Look at those small little cute frogs just doing their job of allowing one of them thrive, and they work as a community. But Death Wishes also work as a community. You eat something, but at least the buffs are coming for other units. So Sidana Harpy number 2 will produce an egg. There is still a Draga Warrior to consume it, so things are looking okay for both players here. This is a fair round 1, I think. Nobody's really sitting there like saying I didn't find anything. Where are my cards? Like you might prefer presence of some of them in Gwent in your round 1 hand, but here, yeah. It's so funny. We see once again Myamon being this person preferring underused cards like Shaping Nature. Seeing play is not your everyday occurrence. Of course, it has a nice synergy with Frixinate as well, as it gives vitality and buffs. But yeah, we'll have to see a new card in the tournament for the entirety of 2024. I don't think we've really had that Echo in action.
Yeah, but hey, it's done its job here. It's given a good amount of points, and it's helped Myamon maintain the lead. Enough so that Archie is feeling like they need to commit the second Succubus here, and even a leader charge in round 1. And that's not something you usually see from Death Wish. Part of this might be because the Dagon wasn't played in this round 1, so Archie's lacking perhaps some of those points that he would have had otherwise if that Dagon did come out. But with a second Rebuke here, Myamon could get another Symbiosis proc, or just go for Falve into, is it going to be another Frogs? It will be.
Okay, yeah, we
So yeah,
we frogging in this round 1. So do we actually see AQ committed on the Succubus? Yes, leading into the Draga Warrior consume next turn.
We're not done if you can still walk.
It will be a lot of points, but it's also, well, a commitment now.
yeah.
As we got accustomed to Detlef, Frog, 18 Detlef, and then AQ being played on Detlef in the qualis. Yeah, this time around it ain't happening. Okay, Lock committed, but doesn't matter. There are 2 Death Wish units of like more or less similar effect anyway. So yeah, we get the Harpy spawn from an egg and Succubus. So while we were talking here, Iron Knight grew to 9 already, and Archi has 10 cards in the deck. With 1 tutor, so hopefully gets what he needs. For Myamon here, only 1 board space left, and you have to play Telealin
Got that?
if you want to still be in it first, because otherwise you will be clocked. And we see Circles of Life getting ahead by 1, but at the same time not really producing any carryover.
This is, yeah, Myamon just really wanting to trade for the final card here. It ends up being the Decree, which played for a semi-decent number of points here, and without room for the Symbiosis procs. Well, okay,
It's
will be
fine.
enough because we have a backup plan.
There is 5, there is a
Ooh.
backup plan damage, and then you just leader
Just,
if necessary. So, but yeah, also gets that blow, so don't really need that leader commitment. But with procs you get your +2 points per leader charge quite easily if he needed 1 extra. Okay, so that's not the round 1 I expected.
no. So, expensive for both players quite a bit here. And now the question is, does Myamon decide to bleed? Because with Dagon not being played yet, I don't think you want to face that in a longer round 3 here. We see the Dagon being mulliganed straight away because, yeah, Archie hasn't won a round yet, and you don't want to play Dagon phase 1 in this sort of situation. On the flip side, Ethne, the third form is quite powerful, but I think it pales in comparison to the Dagon.
Okay, so Archi removed the Dagon as you pointed out. Myamon wants it out now, so this is kinda a weird situation where both players have this one common point, Dagon, but it's not coming out. Yeah, the problem here for Myamon is that the frog with the giant poet was in the graveyard, so that's quite a bit of tempo. Sure, you have your oak critters. You have a little bit of damage here, but you're not really getting anywhere with it, with Cyclops basically being a consume unit here.
And considering how aggressively we saw Myamon play towards the end of the round 1, I wouldn't be surprised if the Gourd gets played here just to try to trade out for the card, but then again, maybe you're worried about actually needing a finisher for round 3, never mind just going for the trade.
Not
Gonna
the
be disappointed
greatest.
seeing this Cyclops.
Not the greatest trade, so Archie will be seeing, what, 5 cards?
I'm just a sexy little cog in that fucked up machine
Yeah.
called life.
So,
Should be getting...
guaranteed to draw 3 of these 4 gold soon. Yeah, the Dagon doesn't have that much time to progress its counter, but should still get pretty decent value. And the problem for Symbiosis is in this really short round 3, when you've already played most of your good natures, I don't think this Ethne is going to have enough time to really get that value to contest the short round power and tempo that Deathwish has.
Forget about the Dagon, he hasn't risen. He decided to chill as the bottom card. There are no more consumes anyway. I think the frogs are depleted now. Okay, so we have Aetna. And the nice thing about her, she is immune. But at the same time you cannot deny the Irondite value, unfortunately.
No.
Like, you'd prefer to just drop it from hand, discard, but then do you have enough points? No, so you kinda need to play everything out here.
Yeah, sometimes you could hope that the opponent missed cards, but when the Deathwish players think this much, that's extremely unlikely to happen. So with that, Symbiosis, it's... I don't think going to be able to stack up to the Deathwish here, and that's with the Deathwish not even playing Dagon at all this game.
Yeah, okay, the treant is big because of Symbiosis 3 on Aetna, but not big enough. And that's a close, not standard match, but yeah, a close game. Myamon tried it. The bleed didn't really accomplish much, but yeah, it's 1-1. Great job. and decks are winning from blue coin. Seems to be the story at the moment. And do the switch.
I had your help and inspiration for this prediction, so I can't take all the credit.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Open Sesame, we have Bare Knuckle Brawlers, but the problem with those against Self-Wound is that the things you hit are maybe not the things you'd want to hit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the issue. When you've been drinking too much, you can't punch straight, and you often don't punch what you want. Not speaking from experience here.
I expected you, yeah, being a student, just a few exciting nights with some brawling Fight Club running. And yeah, there we are, 2 half-naked men just posing against one another, but I don't think Brawler's monetary investments will bring him any joy.
Open Sesame might pave the way for this brawler to maybe manscape so it can actually face up to the Sigvald, but with Svalblod Priest being Sigvald's wingman, I'm not putting money on the brawler either.
Man's got the wares if you've got the coin.
Okay, you've got the coin in your graveyard. 2 Open Sesames now.
Yeah, so Sigvald here is quite early. Yes, you want to play it to disrupt the brawler, but it is still significant commitment. Problem is here for Myamon is that you have a lot of coins generated already, but how are you going to spend them? You can use the Oxenfurt Guard to spend as a defensive spender by doing boosts, but does require 2 adjacent units, which won't be available until a couple more turns' time. With the spending there, so you will have to get on the brawler.
Brawler, no! Nice try, but only 1 out of 3 were successful. Well, only 1 of the 2. No, Brawler, stop it! So we see the second Shady Vendor, second Sesame created, 3 in the graveyard now. They are staggered by 1. While Archi is just doing like cheap self-wound thing. So okay, he committed Sigvald, but at the same time that kinda is investment for the Sigrippers right anyway. And helps tremendously against the Brawler. Well, now Brawler kinda has a few hits to make before he digs into the Sigvald, unless we see the Martrom committed here from an hero.
Yeah, and the problem here for Myamon is that yes, he set up a lot of carryover with these Open Sesames, but when you're playing quite slow here, you're not setting up any engines. It's going to make it quite tough to contest this round. Whereas all 4 of these turns, Archie has been putting down basically an engine each turn, and now with them all working together, they're almost going to be able to counteract just with passive value any card that Myamon plays here. Yeah, you can click the Tiger's Eye here, get a bit of value here by spending out the rest of your coins here, but maybe roping out too.
Yeah, at least Corsair, the Armor Drakkar combo is not passive, so... well, not like Archer was passing anyway, but yeah, it would have been just a lot of points generated, and if you are roping out and not getting ahead, that might have got you in trouble in a different situation. But yeah, we see second Drakkar committed. Sigvald is getting clicked as well, and Golden Necker committed in round 1. Oh no, the expensive the most expensive card of the deck, flying out just like this. Oh wait, you tell me he can do that again?
What?
No.
Really?
Man, we need to like Golden Necker. If it can be played twice, should cost 22 provisions. That's just simple math here. I don't know.
Yes. As a person very into maths, I can back up that claim, and definitely that's how the maths works out. So, yeah, and due to being so far behind, that is why this Golden Necker needs to be committed. But Smerald is potentially going to get cleaned up by a Knut. We'll see if Archie thinks that will be worthwhile, because whilst you would get rid of a poison from the morale, there's still another one sitting on that failed experiment. So you've got to wonder if there will be 2 games getting cleaned up. But Squirrel for the Golden Necker means that for all our joking about Golden Necker being played twice, it won't be the case in this game. We're only seeing 1 Golden Necker, and that card is now gone.
So I suppose Squirrel knows what it's doing, leaving all the money, all the safes in the graveyard. But yep, Golden Necker. That's maybe why we never got the project Golden Necker released by CDPR. We only got Rogue Mage, because Squirrel actually all the coding, all the resources that were ready for a bigger game just got squirreled away. I think we solved it.
A year late, unfortunately, but yes, the mystery is finally solved.
Okay.
And scrolling the red sword means Myamon now has access to a bit of graveyard punish themselves. Could be Sigvald getting banished in a later round, since that's really the only gold that will be heading into Archie's graveyard at the moment.
Okay.
But
Archi.
the downside of the tome is that you can get a huge martyrdom value on the Sigvald combining with this Canute, and whilst the Canute won't have Berserk set up here, it's got enough value immediately that Myamon is likely just going to lose on even now.
Yeah, at the same time, yeah. Bad for Sigvald, he already got into a fight, so that was a bit prematurely. He didn't know that his body is coming in, generating extra bleeds on him, and also an opportunity to purify himself. But
True.
yeah, Feller is here to save the day if necessary. Ah, wait, yeah, there is the failed experiment with the poison. Missing important components might be devastating. It's good that I'm not playing.
Me too. Because I saw that failed experiment 3 turns ago, and my mind kind of slipped and forgot about it, but it was just laying there in wait. It's gonna be Mata. Drawing the Serenova for Myamon could be a nice chance to establish carryover here. And a second Corsair ain't too shabby for Self-Wound when they have 2 Dracars sitting on the board.
And I mean, as the self-wound player, you probably click in that Arcane Tome. Steel Kyre Troll there, Svalblod all geared in the deck. Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
And at this point, Myamon only has a single Open Sesame left in the deck in terms of specials. So I'm curious to see if it will be clicked. It will.
Yeah.
So this is the last chance for Myamon to use the tome this round.
So 10 into 8. With 1 decree as well. Will be finding most of his golds, and just the order is the question. By now Archie kinda knows, if he's keeping the count, that Royal Decree is the only special. I don't think there is a big finisher in terms of the cards. Spenders are already on the board, so yeah. no reason not to click it yourself when you need to catch up, and you're kind of running out of cards anyway. So
Yeah, and at this point, the totem order is red, so Archie is able to see that there are no specials left in deck for Myamon. If Archie's been counting, checking the deck list closely, it would be clear that the decree is in hand for Myamon. It will be spent here regardless. We're going to see the Alyssa Henson shuffling back the
Know that I was trained by Clara
red
Larissa
sword,
herself.
so it can be played with Tome
oh,
immediately.
yeah, okay, I can. Wow, okay. So something we didn't read the manual for. There we go. No Neuromancy. Although this Neuromancy, once again, yeah, a few things happened already, and I suppose purification you cannot play, so spores are not that amazing here either. Maybe Archie, yeah, cannot really click it anymore to thin the bad bronzes, but yeah, the play worthy of a round win with the side dish of Neuromancy removed. Why not? So Alyssa,
Cherry on top.
yeah, Alyssa felt like maybe she's not really doing much with Golden Necker gun, but yeah, reactivated the dome. Nice little play there. The cards that are coming for, okay, so the Svalblod is here. Purification, I guess it is points, but yeah, with all the 10 in, 4 big golds are still in the deck. And Maxi is a card that, well, occasionally her job is just to show you the cards that you missed. You don't need, you can sort them all you wish. Yeah, look, 4 golds and as one special behind them, then you are drawing your golds. It's just that a little bit behind. What was the hand-guided sword used second time on?
I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, I was
I'm
trying
curious
to
to see how that resolves. Does it still have the scroll stored in it? Or does it reset if you
Yes.
kill a new unit?
Yeah, I think so. This is Katana. It stores the souls of the fallen enemies inside itself, so let's see. The hand-guided Katana. I guess it's getting... Yeah, there we go. The squirrel is the survivor in it.
Knut says goodbye. So, yeah. There isn't like a big unit finisher for Myamon's list. However, the Open Sesames can provide a lot of points in a short period of time. And notably, the lowest counter Open Sesames are at 1 counter. So, not wanting to proc them here, I think, for Myamon, unless you're really pushing for like 2-0 pushing to get a lot out. But with Brawler being the spender here...
Can he board wipe with all the money in the world? So
you'd need like 23 coins to do it. I think you'd be a bit short.
nah, you have exactly
Actually,
23.
Would have done it perhaps then, yeah.
But the problem, well, the board wipe is kind of not. Did you count the flip on the bear abomination? Okay, if you did, then you board wipe completely, and then it's purification heat, whatever. Yeah, that wouldn't be.
I think it actually would have 2-0'd.
The leader was fully unused by Archi, so that's kind of playing for too little. Okay, but okay, we have the Izora here. Very nice card to have when you have a graveyard setup like this. The problem is Heatwave was preserved by Archie, so...
Even worse, Chaos Troll is here, which means that probably as soon as the first unit gets played here, it just gets clashed with and killed off. So you're going to need to try to use Conjurer's Candle to take things out of range, but if you do that, you just play into this heat wave.
So yeah, maybe I'm a bit crazy, but I would have liked the full spend on the brawler last time, last round. Maybe there was just a simple way to see that, yeah, if your opponent has 2 cards that play for 5-6 points. Okay, Draco Turtle Leader already takes your hat, so that would have been too risky. We have bodies provided. 2 extra bodies provided to the board with this purification.
Gonna help, but the problem is Suxenfoot God needs to live for this Ixora to get value, so I'm likely gonna see the Ixora getting floated.
Okay.
And it's all gone wrong here for the Syndicate. Their trade routes have been intercepted by those big turtles off the sea, those Draco turtles, and Ixora just doesn't have a chance to get any plunder going here.
So players see that both of them tint almost their decks almost completely, knowing what to expect. Myamon most likely, yeah, knows what was waiting this Ixora. Now there is a big bank to spend, but you only have 1 friend to spend it on. Was playing into spores as well, but spores are not present. What's the best? Sigriff is right. We have
surprising amount of points here.
Yeah,
you can see how impactful this would have been if there was just a second unit living here.
Yep.
Which maybe if that bleed ended a turn earlier, that could have been the case, but Self-Ruin does take it by perhaps narrower margin than expected, but still a win for Self-Ruin nonetheless.
Yeah, crazy amounts of money, but only 1 recipient of those boosts. And GG to Archi, taking it.
Looks like it will be. So, it seems like Myamon enjoys taking the gift from the red coin, likes the red coin tempo can provide, and yeah, Syndicate sometimes can struggle a bit in the round 1, particularly if it is an open sesame list, which the list Archie is playing here, it is. And Rebukes are perfectly situated at 5 damage to kill off Witch Hunter Executioners. So you might like to protect them with a candle, but you often don't like playing that candle round 1, so it'll be interesting to see if Archie's going to be able to set up a damage spender here. Or even just a spender as a whole, looking at this hand, might need to commit the Scoundrel in the end.
Yeah, think about Scoundrel is that you can tribute the card to see the bronze that you're pulling and bounting, and with the presence of Dual Canal Guardian, you kinda have to.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen Archie not do it once in the qualies, but here goes for it, and we see that Scoundrel is very good at peeking at small adepts of Cat Witcher School. He fought something that he was certain he gonna collect the bounty on. The Guardian, yeah, I'm not sure if he can peek on that. We see the lock coming, so his job here is done, right? Nothing to purify with.
Nope.
No location.
So, essentially just playing as a 12-point body here. It's going to be the First rebuke used up. Unfortunately, no Treant on board to get some of that death blow value. And also going to be a later charge on the Morin.
Yeah, the Hysteria was set up to 3 and the instant kill, but Myamon is playing around that, I guess.
Could you say?
Okay.
Open Sesame found. Both these players seem very good at getting open
Yeah,
sesame
I don't think
off
we've
these
seen-
shady vendors.
I don't think we've seen a single. We've seen 3 rolls, 3 successful rolls.
That's just why these players are in this tournament. These are the best of the best. They know how to play well strategically, and they know how to high roll when it matters. So, this is a very bronze-heavy hand here for Myamon, and with the only special with bronze special with 2 copies in deck still being the Circle of Life, I'm curious whether the Simless will end up just playing these Circles of Life similarly to the Deathwish game. Will be Fav tutoring the Frogs mating season. This is quite nice with that Viper Witcher adept here, can get quite a bit of synergy with already having 7 cards on this front row, and Frogs to make that Vitality tick super quick. But you got to be careful of the Philippa if you go for such a large amount of Vitality.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned her and she flies out immediately. Well, they even tried to recreate poses of one another, the Wolf and Philippa. So, like, being caught up mid-air here. So Archie decides to not wait for, say, Phyrexinet to land. To wait for the Cat Witcher adept target, goes for it immediately. Well, the bank is full, you don't have spenders, so it makes sense. You have 2 bronzes that give you coins as well. What was that movement?
You've beautiful green eyes. Beautiful
As you come up,
A setup for leader charge. But that's... okay, double leader charge. Okay, that I can see, I guess. But yeah, Frogs are not really helping, and you still don't really achieve anything with the Junior coming and killing your 9.
And yeah, is that young Dryad getting added to Horson's bathtub, unfortunately?
Ah, no. Well, the card is kinda black and white and red, so... although the overall tint is like green, so I guess she will be not breaking the overall composition of this. So this actually activates the Hysteria once again. You can click the Junior,
you would
although you
need
need
coins to
coins
do
for
that,
that at the
though.
moment. Yep.
And will be the Simless found? Might be one of these Circles of Life.
Yep.
Perhaps adding Horse into his own bathtub at this point. And the other...
No, opts not to.
decides not to deal with the horse, and which okay, if you kill the horse and you don't get ahead here, so I guess that's part of the reason.
Yeah, maybe.
And we will see leader to get the coins to clean up that hysteria. So yeah, taking the maximal points in the short term here for Myamon, it left the gate open for Archie to make this play since the Horson still had that fee active. And 7-point margin here. It's not that easy to make up with one of these natures, especially since there's no symbiosis units on board to help with that value. This Cat Witcher Adept can play for quite a few points. We might see these frogs being moved back row to get that play going. But the issue is if you boost a 1 power unit, then it's vulnerable to the horse. So you're going to have to leave it as is. You lose a bit of vitality value to ensure that this Treant actually stays alive.
Yeah, so... And 8 is only vulnerable to morels, I guess. We see a bounty on this Wandering Treant. Maybe it was bounty on, I don't know, one of the Witchers. They tend to become Treants throughout the course of their Netflix life, so...
Yeah, this... In the Deathwish game, we saw Myamon playing Shape the Circles of Life to not boost any units in hand. Now we're seeing Bountiful Harvest being played, again, not boosting any units in hand. These nature cards are really losing out on those additional effects here, and it's potentially going to come back to bite later. The Scribe is decent, will manage to boost by 6 if this round goes all the way. And
Okay.
or else collecting the 1 coin bounty on a Treant. King of Beggars out already. Open Sesame at 3 charges in the graveyard for Archie, but only 1 Open Sesame is there, and the only golds left in deck are the Acherontia and the Novigrad, so quite a bit spent from Archie here. Whereas half of Myamon's deck is still gold. Thing is, I don't think it's possible for Myamon to get ahead anymore here.
Yeah, not
But
sure
it's
what you're
still-
supposed to high roll. I guess nothing really to play for 11. Your Elven Scribe is nice, but yeah, as you mentioned, you need to play this entire hand to trigger it.
Gonna give up the round control, actually. So basically this round was just Myamon saying, if I can't win on even, I don't want to win the round. It's either win on even or bust, and it ended up being bust.
Yeah, that puts him into this precarious position though. Like we mentioned, that control is not really the most powerful part of this deck. Nature's Gift. Archie is missing Novigrad, only has Bank as a tutor for that, but yeah, we're also at 5 cards. Let's see if he wants to deal with it in round 2 at all.
So if you want to bleed here, you're going to have to lead Candle here. It will help this Executioner get out of range of Rebuke. And then I don't think it will really be all that easy for Myamon to deal with that Executioner. Bountiful Harvest is usually a bit awkward proactively. The Sentry is not going to be doing much with the movement effect. But hey, this time you're actually boosting a card in hand, so yay, Talianon's now at 10.
Hey, those Circles of Life in game 1 didn't boost anything, but we've seen a big adept at least in game number 2, so there's some boosts occasionally land on the units, but yeah, okay, so we see a bank into a bank robbery card, which is
Pretty nice
poetic.
shape of nature, yeah.
This is... Well, this is a bleed, so you don't always expect to keep your card
Yeah.
or get much out of the cards you play, but yeah, this is kinda not the round to sell the power of Syndicate on. Like if you have if we have any new viewers, first of all, get us know that somebody is watching Gwent Masters without the prior knowledge of the game, and second, yeah, this is not the power level of Syndicate. This is the basically push with the worst cards possible, so to say, trying to establish your carryover. Since Archi has a lot of coins, he decides that, yeah, if you want to hero pass, you can, but that might backfire for you.
Notably, if that Eventide Plunder rolled a failed experiment, there would have been a slight chance for Syndicate to catch up here. You could have ended up poisoning this super tall Sentry. There maybe was an argument for Myamon to instead take the Veil option from the Shaping Nature just to play around that possibility, but going for the peel points ends up working out here. So yeah, you get the card advantage, but what Archie did manage to achieve from this bleed was there was a lot of natures used up by Myamon, and there's only the nature created from Vandal, Acoress, and this echo shaping nature for this Ethne to get symbiosis value from.
I don't know how I feel about this shape in nature. Clog in the hand. Well, I guess it stays. It is, after all, the nature card. So Telealen is interested in the elves with deploy ability. We see that, well, the Malignant face kinda lacked, so we see Philovander still there, but he's actually not there. Acherontia arrives into Archi's hand, but apparently the hand is not Novigrad, because Novigrad is somewhere at the bottom of the deck already.
Yeah. So yeah, Acherontia sailing to some other ports, not docking in Novigrad this game. But the lead from Myamon here will be Cole into, I assume, just a Dwan Canal Guardian.
Yeah, just setting up
This
the whaled unit.
is solid because it can't be bountied. Oh no.
Any reason for that?
Playing
Shuffle.
around Brawler, you don't want Ethne to die to Brawler. So just trying to get as many points onto the board here before you play out the Ethne.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's why you don't lead Ethne. Brawler is a thing in this deck. We just forget about it because it's not in hand. We see the hand, but players don't know the hand, so they have to play around all sorts of things that could just be lying at the bottom of the deck.
I guess the Gwent Canal Guardian is indeed 1 point less on the board. Okay, so now Aithne is there. Well, yeah, there we go with the pulls from Acherontia. Could have been anything, but ends up 1 profit, 4 point body Shady Vendor with no coins. Well, there is Telealen. There is Big Gorge. Shape in nature triggering the symbiosis.
And
Also
these
bleeding.
vendors,
Taking souvenirs.
1 point token allows to just take full value from Teleanin.
Pride is all we've left.
Oh, look, hand buff.
what role are we gonna get?
Let us see victory.
Yeah, that's just 5
Nothing
points.
too crazy.
Okay, backup plan is sort of an unobtainium here as Teleanin dies.
This, having such a high base power unit being killed off with that bounty value here is doubly bad because of this Acherontia getting additional value, but I'm not sure the Fist Tech is the pool that you wanted here.
Well, you can.
That-
Can you trigger?
There is
Yeah,
another Sesame,
you
so you
trigger
can trigger again.
Acherontia. Quite. I guess you still had enough coins to Acherontia. Anyway, but you trigger it on the same turn. Okay. Archie definitely can leave with that. And another poison. That you are not really activating. But the point...
So the shaping nature, yeah.
Such a big
You go
point gap. Like, yeah, this provides Veil if you are afraid of the poisons, although... Well, it might be. It is boost 7. But yeah, Myamon goes for... just buffing this force here.
Makes for the best pilots.
And now just spending through bleeds. This is the end, this is the tally, 52 points. Gortys tall enough to kick your ass. But the bleeds go through. And we have first participant of the Grand Finals. And this is Archi. So yeah, a very close game here, but in the end, Acherontia carries him to victory, and Myamon falls out of the competition now. So Matol Production presents episode number 2, Later